Hello, I'm making this video specifically for Jagmeet Singh. Jagmeet Singh, my friend, how are you? I made one of these for Enemy Paul, so I figure, hey, I'll make one of these for you. Your best bet in the upcoming elections is to take a hard swing at Alberta. I think you should take a hard swing at Alberta. And double down with this particular narrative that is 100% happening. The fossil fuel industry is abandoning Albertans. For the last 40, 50 years, the Conservatives have essentially run the place with this narrative that, hey, we're going to make a whole lot of money here, and you'll get a piece of it. And the people haven't really gotten a piece of it, because sure, the jobs paid more, but the capitalists also owned the rent and the food distribution, and so they really jacked those prices and really drained the money they gave to their oil workers from them. That's definitely happened. It's structurally there. And so Albertans are in basically the same position as everybody else, because the capitalists took all the money for themselves and essentially are leaving town. Lots and lots of people are getting thrown out of the fossil fuel industry, which is an inevitability, okay? So any kind of weird moral judgment you might have against Albertans, incidentally, I'm a prairie boy myself, I live in Toronto, so any weird prejudice that you have against the prairies, I really, really hope you can see through them and get to the other side. You're a man that knows prejudice. So I hope that you can find a way to ally yourself with prairie folk, or attempt to ally yourself with prairie folk, because there's lots of people getting thrown out of the fossil fuel industry and are basically being told, buck up, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get a better job. They're being abandoned. They're absolutely being abandoned. And they are never ever in their lives going to ever vote Liberal, because the Liberals are literally standing there watching this happen and actively pushing to make it happen, okay? Which, again, we have to do. We have to do. Climate change is real. We have to move forward on this stuff. The fossil fuel industry is going to stop producing oil because the oil will run out. These are inevitabilities, okay? What is also an inevitability is that people are going to be abandoned by the corporate state that does not care about them whatsoever. And the Liberals are literally standing there doing nothing about it, okay? They had the opportunity to pass a CERB and make sure people continued on with that through a basic income, but they've broken that apart and it's no longer reliable, and they're funneling people into EI, and that EI will run out. Right, that EI will run out, and then those people will be abandoned, and it really is that straightforward. And the Liberals are not only doing nothing about it, they're making the problem worse, and Albertans know it. They understand this, which is why you can't run a Liberal in Alberta, okay? Because they know who their enemy is. And the only people who have been talking to them for the last 50 years are these conservative politicians. Right, are these conservative nut jobs who have been going along with the corporations in order to pilfer the populace and then abandon them, right? If you walk into Alberta and say, we are going to pass a basic income, we are going to make sure that you get support so that you do not fall into poverty, you are going to gain a lot of support. I understand that there is this like rough and tumble grumble, right? But the leader of the opposition, Rachel Notley, right? She's an NDP member. She was the leader of the province for a brief moment. And actually when she lost, she maintained her power as leader of the party. That's very impressive. That's very politically impressive, and she's a very impressive person, without a doubt. If she becomes the premier of that place again, she's an incredible, incredible politician, an incredible person. And I think you need to, like, grab a hold of her, and you both need to get behind this idea that you guys are going to pass a basic income to alleviate a lot of problems that are existing in Alberta, specifically because they're just being abandoned by fossil fuel companies. And the whole get a better job riff is absolutely the most ridiculous bullshit I've ever heard in my life. These people need help. They genuinely need help and support. And take a look at what just happened in Georgia. Take a look at what just happened in Georgia, Mr. Singh. Take a look at what just happened in Georgia. Literally, the Democrats stood up and said, we will get you $2,000 checks. And they defeated the Republicans handily. Handily. Not a close election. And they confronted the corruption, and they confronted what was going on. And they told a narrative that sounds very similar to the narrative that I just told you now. That these corporations have been lying to us and bullshitting us this entire time, and the game is up. We don't believe them. We don't trust them. We do think they're robbing us. We understand all of this. The jig is up. The jig is up. There's your slogan. Run on that slogan, Mr. Singh. The jig is up. Like, we get it. The game is over. The game is over. We no longer believe you. You have proven yourself to be untrustworthy. The jig is up. Oh, I love it. If you ran on that slogan, my friend, boy howdy, would I run with that. Would I run with that? Anyway, bud. I'm a prairie boy. Albertans are good people, okay? They don't deserve to be abandoned by corporations. They don't deserve to be abandoned by their government. They don't deserve any of that. What they should have is support, especially now in the middle of this pandemic. What they should have now is full-scale, permanent, well-understood support. That's what they need. And if that puts them on the government dole, then at least they're being helped by someone. Like, I don't understand this odd, like, oh, they'll be on the government dole instead of being slaves to corporations who will abandon them on their whim. Like, oh no. Alright, bud. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. I am willing to support you. I am willing to throw down with you. I'm willing to promote you. But you gotta start talking a better game. And you gotta start talking a better game to Albertans. Because they're the ones who are bearing the brunt. They're the ones who are being abandoned. And you either confront this, or you allow someone like Trump or their Trump policies to walk in and take the place over. Up to you, buddy. Up to you. Good luck. You're gonna need it.